Okay, so how long does it take to actually move up in film? And this is going to depend on the department you're in, your goals, your aspirations, things you want to do in the film industry. Now, if you are like, okay, I want to be a director, that's going to be a long road. Only because I feel like everyone wants to be a director and there are so many people competing for not that many spots. But even if you want to be a first AD, even if you want to be a property master, even if you want to be an actor, all these things are going to take a lot of time. It takes way more than you think. Even you're like, okay, I'm going to graduate from college. Doesn't have to be film school, doesn't have to be whatever certain degree, but okay, you go to college, you come out of college, you're like, okay, I want to make it by the age of 30. Even that is a tight goal. And first of all, we have to talk about like what making it is. That's a whole separate video. If you want to look at that video, please feel free to look at it after this video. But making it is whatever you're defining as your success in film. But to go over the timeline of what it takes, and I thought that I was going to be a first AD or just in the DGA way sooner than I thought. Now, this is not accounting for life getting in the way, certain things that happen in your life, marriage, kids, breakups, divorce, deaths, all these things are going to happen in your life. So things don't go to plan like you think they will. And just expect that. Expect the unexpected because some things just happen and you have no control of how these things work out. First of all, like no one thought about a strike happening. No one thought about the pandemic happening. And I think I would have been in the DGA a little bit sooner, probably by maybe 2 years if maybe a year. I would say a year earlier if the pandemic didn't happen. Because I took like a whole year of us kind of like in lockdown and not even, that was 7 months of me not working. So I could have probably gotten to the DGA, the Directors Guild of America, a little bit sooner. So, and then, you know, certain things happen. Maybe you're not working as much as you want to. You're not getting as much days as you want to. Because if your goal is to get into a certain union, you have to do certain days. Now, IATSE is a bit different. There, I think it's like 30 union days, but each local is going to have different requirements for you to get into them. So, and let's just say you're trying to be in the GRIP union and you're trying to be a GRIP in Local 52. I think you need like 30 union days, but to get those 30 union days, that takes a lot of time. It's not just like, okay, one job, that's it. But finding that one job is going to be hard. So there are going to be certain things that you're going to do that are going to be unexpected. For example, you're like, okay, I need union days, but then all you're getting is indie work, meaning they're not IATSE, they're just, you know, it's an indie film that you jump to, or short films, or commercials. Those are not kind of in the union world like we would like to think they would be, but it takes time. So going through my timeline, let's see. Okay, I got out of college, 2008, I officially graduated, but then I was doing work while in college as much as possible. But then after that, I wanted to travel. So while I was still using the camera and editing, I was a videographer on a cruise ship. That was 2 years out of my film life. So from 2 years there, but in between cruise contracts, I was working on feature films as much as I could, like a 2-week thing here, a week there, a month here, in between when I was back home from the cruise ship contracts. So like I'd be out for 6 months, come back for 2 or 3 months, and then I would try and jump on anything that I could. So that was like 2 years of like maybe a gap of time that wasn't used wisely, but I like lived life, you know what I mean? So I think people are getting obsessed with, I need to get out of college, I need the perfect job in film, and then my life's going to be set, security, blah, blah, blah. Let's take time to live your life and do the things you want to do. Let's just get that out there first. So I lived life. I traveled, I worked on a cruise ship, and I did all that for like 2 years, but then I was like, okay, now we got to focus, we got to buckle down, and then I moved to New York City, and that took time to get me off the ground. So I started as set PA, months and months of me trying to email people to get me on set, because I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any contacts. I didn't have like a rich uncle or a cousin, distant cousin who was like, get me on like Law & Order or whatever. So I felt like I needed to email everyone under the sun to get my first opportunity of getting on set. So I got that. I mean, my story is going to be in a video there for you. So if you want to check that out, definitely watch it. But how I broke in is me emailing profusely every day. It was like while I was being a barista in New York City, I was emailing people to get on any set that I could. And that took a few months, but then finally got on something, a pilot during pilot season. God, I wish there was pilot season still. There's not really a pilot season now, unfortunately. I think maybe slowly it's coming back, but not really. So that took, that pilot was 21 days and then going from there to another one. So I'm doing this for a couple of years, but then I moved to Jersey. Life gets in the way. I break up with my boyfriend. It's a whole thing. Life gets in the way. So that's like another year. That's like a couple years actually. And then I worked at a TV station, and then that was a year or so. And then I worked at a distribution company. Like while I was working in distribution, I was still working in film. I was not on set. So it was kind of like setting me back for my AD goals. And then finally meeting someone at the production company. He does a short film. Then I get my first like shot at being an AD on set for free. So for free, by the way. I did 3 days. We were in the Catskills for 3 days. And that was like my first indie short film AD day that I did, or days. And now we're like from 2008 to 2014. So that's like 4, 5, 7 years. So from going from me graduating college to getting some, indie AD stuff and indie PA stuff. Then I leave the distribution company. I get fired. That's a whole other story for later. Let me know in the comments if you want that story. We'll talk about it in another video. 2014 and then 2015, I start buckling down, focusing, getting back on set, getting that indie stuff and getting as much indie days as possible. And that's when I start being additional PA more and more and more. I get more and more AD days. And now we're at the point of like 2018, I start getting more set PA staff, like staff gigs. So I'm on the run of the show, meaning like I did Enemy Within. I was on the entire 4 or 5 months run of the show. And I go from staff job to staff job, staff job. And then the pandemic hits. So now we're fast forward to 2020. So now it's been 13 years and I'm not in the DGA yet. I'm not in where I thought I would be. And 2020 hits, then I do a couple more shows. I'm on the Equalizer later that year. And then I'm doing job after job after job. I'm doing more NDA work. I'm doing lots of PA stuff. I'm going around everywhere, getting as much experience as I can. And then I finally apply to DGA. I get into the DGA, 2022, which is kind of February 2nd, 2022. I got my official letter that I was in the DGA, that they accepted everything. And obviously there's a lot of ups and downs in there. But if you look at me, like making it into getting to the DGA from 2008 to 2022, that's a lot of time. And when I speak to other people who are ADs and who go from thinking they want to be an AD to being a PA and then making it into DGA, that's usually a span of, I get an average of 6 to 10 years. 6 to 10 years, that's the AD track. Now, directing is a whole other path where it's going to take many years, because here's the thing is that I think people are expecting they're going to write their feature and they're going to make this feature and everything is going to be great. And then they're going to get more opportunities from that one feature. So that takes time, like thinking about how much time it even takes to prep a feature, to shoot the feature, and then do post-production for that feature. That is a span of like possibly 2 years. You never know. From the point of writing it, prepping it, shooting it, post-production, and then trying to get a marketing plan, distribution, and your audience and all that stuff. All of that is going to take a lot of time. So thinking about the span of a career, people are thinking they're going to make it at 30, whatever making it is to you is, I think, again, we manage expectations. I just say like, just enjoy the ride and just try and get everything out of every opportunity that comes your way. So it could be anywhere. I mean, also, this is not even taking into account of people who, I don't know, are lawyers or flight attendants or teachers who then decide to switch careers at 35. I mean, like, what was that? Shonda Rhimes or Ava DuVernay, like they reignited a whole different career at like 40 or something like that. So it takes time, and I think everyone's just got to be a little bit patient. Everyone's just got to like slow down. This is not a sprint. Having a career in film is going to be a marathon, and it's just going to take a lot more time than you're actually expecting. So just enjoy the ride while you're in it, and just take whatever you can get, and just try not to have too much resistance, and just go wherever, the flow of the film industry takes you.